this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit.
Bingo.
How are you?
Wow, this is going to be a couple different boxes being checked at the same time here. This is welcome to Dave Bird, Del Mar alumni, right? Am I correct in this? Am I talking to the real that Dave Bird?
You are correct.
And this is my 140th episode, probably the last episode of Breaths with Friends podcast of the year. So thanks for rounding this out with me. This is all happening because my birthday is 4/20/69 and you're 4/20/69. Am I correct on this assumption? Is everything correct?
You are correct. So far, you are checking the boxes.
Let me see my lighting. Lighting, I'm in Oregon right now, so the lighting is very precarious here, especially with this crazy weather. Where are you at?
I am in Colorado.
Okay, so I thought maybe we might have I thought you were still on the West Coast for some reason, but then when it wasn't happening at that time, I thought maybe you're on the East Coast.
Oh shit, dude.
What happened?
Oh, there we go. I don't know. I clicked on something and everything went black, and you just happened to stop talking at the same time. Everything went black. So I thought I really jacked something.
No, we're
I'm in Colorado. I moved here just over almost 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago.
What made you do the move?
My work
from the Bay Area. You're still in San Jose and all that.
I was still in San Jose. I was working for a Volkswagen Audi tuner. Before that, I was working for my wife's in-laws for a BMW tuning company. He sold the private equity. I stayed in the Bay Area and just found another job while he moved away. And then in 2022, we were at the racetrack watching them race, and they approached me and said, "Hey, I'm going back into business. If that happens, would you be interested in coming back and working for me and heading up a facility in Colorado?" And I said, "Hey, if that happens, call me." Like we've been looking for a reason. We were looking for a reason to get out of California since. I mean, when his company got bought by private equity in 2015, we started talking about it. And then COVID hit, and it's like, I'm working in the motorsports industry. Where do you want to go? Do you want to go to the Carolinas? My wife and I had a map of places we had been.
Did you guys bring out the map of the wall with the red pins in it?
We had definite no's. But yeah, Colorado was always on my top 5 list. I used to come here a lot in my 20s after high school. Because a couple buddies that were in my class moved here. Derek Pennington, I don't know if you remember these guys.
Of course, all these names, we're gonna slowly get down this Del Mar rabbit hole for sure.
So Derek Pennington and Mike Daly took a chance and moved out here to work at the ski resorts when snowboarding was a big thing. A few years into its popular.
Isn't it still a big thing?
It is still a big thing.
Okay. You tripped me out there for a second. I was like, did it ever go away?
Yeah, I mean, this is in the first 5 years or whatever of snowboarding being a thing. They moved out to work at ski resorts, and I was single and making pretty good money, making pretty good cash at Spoons. Remember that place? I was walking home with a lot of cash from there, so I was just buying plane tickets and coming out here and snowboarding all the time. So yeah, when I got the offer to come out here, they relocated us and we bought a house. We set down roots.
Nice. That's a departure from the weather you're used to, probably. But you're used to it, I guess, because you've been there back and forth so much, right?
Yeah, and I had growing up in 1978, my parents built a cabin in South Lake Tahoe. So, and I would do 60 days of snowboarding since 1986. I was doing 50 days a year.
Were you living in South Lake Tahoe around 1992 or 90,
Yeah,
19?
I never moved. I never moved there. I had friends that were there, and I mean, we used to go up. We used to go up every Friday night and spend the whole weekend up there.
Yeah, I
And
used to live. I worked at this restaurant there for a little bit, and called Desperados
nice.
on the right above Incline Village.
Yeah.
And I lived there for a little bit. And the guy, the owner, is hilarious. That is on the ridge, and their menu was a newspaper that he had printed out. And I told him about me wanting to move to LA. And he goes, "Oh boy, if you go to LA, they're gonna eat you up alive." And I was like, "No, no,
Well,
no, no." And he's all, "Ooh, we." And it did actually, but he was right. But I survived. But he looked at me like I was crazy. And but I also had like a little gambling problem over there, so it's not good. I go cash my check in the casino and walk out the next morning and have to go to work because I just blew all my money. No sleep.
yeah, that's a real thing.
Yeah.
They have helplines for that now,
I
I
know.
hear.
I started seeing in the papers. I was like, "Oh shit! It's me. That's me." And so I got the fuck out of there. I was there for 2.5 weeks. But I want to digress because do you remember?
Okay.
I want to go through. First of all, are you a mechanic by nature on these things that you
I
do?
mean, I grew up in a hot rodding house. I I I know how to work on cars. Um, that's not why I went into this business. I don't. I restored a couple cars, but I'm not a mechanic by any means.
What's your like job thing that you do? Are you to get
So
exactly to
so I'm a
deals and stuff like that,
I'm
or
like a I'm an so my current position I'm an operations officer, chief operations officer. So I'm in charge of everything in a manufacturing facility, right? From inventory to people building parts and putting them together, putting them in boxes and fulfilling orders. So every little piece of that, right? Hiring and firing, people that kit stuff and ship things, and I sit in with engineering departments and help design parts in a
can I
way.
ask you a quick question real quick about like
Yep.
to somebody who thinks they are might be being fired but not sure? How do you know when you're being fired before it happens? Are there any little red flags that you've seen as a person that you can do? It's almost like a unspoken
I mean,
language between two people.
performance reviews, right? Like all of a sudden, or you can feel. I mean, if you're in tune with your position, you can feel it. I mean, and too, right? Like very few people get fired when they're doing a good job. And I mean, people know. Like the job before when the last job in California I was doing, I mean, guys knew when you took them in. Like you've been warned several times. There's no way in a
Okay,
layoff, right?
that's like a more
There's no way
common structure. You'd get a warning for
yeah.
sure.
In a layoff, you just never know, right? Like they're cutting, especially if it's a bigger company, they're cutting a number out of their right.
Okay.
They're looking to save, $40,000 or something. They're gonna find a $40,000 employee and cut them. You don't see those coming, but usually you're getting fired because you're doing a shitty job. And people that are doing shitty jobs know they're doing a shitty job. They're, you know, from what I've seen, I've had very few people. I mean,
So
I've
when they get
fired.
fired, they're not surprised.
Yeah, you shouldn't be unless it's a layoff, or you just don't have a clue. Like, I thought I was doing a good job.
What the fuck? Come
Yeah,
on.
look at the other people around you.
Do you find that work fulfilling? Like,
I do.
yeah.
Yeah, because I grew up in a hot rodding family, so I'm lucky to, and I still have. I don't know how much following you do on social media. I have a 55 Chevy that my dad passed down to me, a resto mod, pretty nice car.
Sweet.
So I'm lucky. I work in an industry I grew up in.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm a hobbyist in it, right? So yeah, I feel lucky in that way.
So you know the 360-degree vision of that industry because you are
Yeah.
a refurbisher, and a
Yeah.
mechanic and the person that so you know how to pick apart a car. You probably can build your car by scratch probably.
Sure.
I have a buddy who was the actor Robert Carradine. He's a buddy of mine, Bobby. He came on the podcast and he was building his own Harley Davidson.
Oh yeah, I want to build a bike.
And he was I was like
There we go.
I was like, wait, isn't it just cheaper to just buy one? He goes, yeah, but I mean,
yeah.
What's the fun of that? He's like, I said, how long have you been doing it? I think he's been doing it for like 3 or 4 years now, or something like that. I saw it. It's fucking pretty.
I'm kind of in that spot. I'm kind of in that spot in my life. I'll never build one from the ground up again. Like I'll buy something that some guy took a bath on, right? Like you never get your money back. You never get your labor back or any of that.
Oh no, it's all kissed out the window. That's
you put all that money into a car, you sell it for a third of what you have into it. I mean, it's best to start with something somebody did most of the work to, and then just recraft it to be your own these days. Yeah.
That's what. So wait, okay, we're gonna jump back into your industry but we've sort of already got that. But like, have you ever found? Because the whole thing with this is I bought the domain for 2069 movie because I thought it'd be fun and because it's an exclusive on Breads with Friends, but like it's the idea is to do a documentary of people that were born before 2069. And it's such a because that birthday I've had so many different scenarios kind of. I mean, it's the best birthday in the world. You know that, right?
I'm told.
Have you never had any stories about your birthday that are kind of funny too about somebody who's being born on 4/20/69? Is there anything that's weird, or am I the only one?
Not really. I think people are enamored by it, honestly. Like when people find out I'm born on this day, it's like, oh my God, like it depends on the circle you're in too. Like if you're with a bunch of stoners, right? They're like do you drive a microbus? Like, right? Like they want me to, it's like stoner royalty day.
I know all the pot shops know my birthday.
Yeah.
Oh, 4/20/69. Come on, hey, dude.
I get, back when I used to get carded, I get, you get fucking seriously all the time, right? Like,
yeah.
Seriously, are you some kind of hippie? No.
Were you ever a stoner?
Yeah, I mean, yes.
Do you still smoke at all? I don't want to ruin your job.
A little bit.
I mean, you're in Colorado. You probably have some pretty great weed over there.
Yeah, it's everywhere and cheap.
How much is an eighth over there, or do you get pre-rolls?
I don't know. My wife does all the shopping. I
just smoke and eat what she gives me. I'm okay.
And another one of our, speaking of our high school friends, one of our high school friends lives down in the southern part of the state and grows it. So every once in a while.
Oh, what's their name?
Right. I'll leave him anonymous in this conversation, but he doesn't smoke. He just grows it. So he'll drive up and bring, he also trades with an organics company.
Nice. Well, I'll get his information later. I gotta get a Buffalo brand of weed going because my Buffalo would look great on a bottle of wine, but also on a great on a packaging. Right? I need to link up with some people because I was smoking, and I think I was actually even 24 or something like that because I was a late bloomer, and then I realized my birthday was. I was maybe 25, 20, getting there. I was like, wait, why am I smoking all this weed? I was like, and then my birthday is 4/20/69. And I'm like, oh, I didn't make the connection. And so I'm predisposed, I guess, is maybe it's an excuse.
I mean, when did you find out 420 was a thing?
I think it was when I was 24, 25, 26, maybe.
Yeah, I think that's
late. I was like 4/20, April 20, Chaplin's birthday, Hitler's birthday, 4/20. I was wait, that's my birthday.
I mean, up until and it's weird because all that stuff started in San Rafael, and my wife has a really good friend that she went to school with that went to the same high school where all that stuff was going down, and he's got the whole story, and You know, it's like,
Wasn't it a police? The original story on that was it was a police activity code or something like that, like radio
yeah,
code or
I don't know
something.
about that part. I know,
I
I know,
mean,
I know the oldest one is something about like that's what time there's like a group of guys that went to high school in San Rafael, and that's what time of day they met to go find some crop somewhere. Like there was a uh what do you call that when there's a there's something, oh man,
you
it
got it.
always
You're
escapes
killing
me
it.
thinking about it. Like it's like local legend that there's a big grow somewhere in their area, and they used to go at 4:20 like every Friday and go looking for it, right? And then I've heard it was the time where they met in San Rafael at the high school, where they met under the bleachers, right? To get stoned. Like there's
Yeah,
all
so
these
many different
things.
octopus trend tendrils. It's become
Yeah,
omnipresent at
because
some
what
point.
you know, the high school in San Rafael, like they took the old version and made it something of their own, right? There's some local legend or um and they started adopting it. But it's crazy that we grew up in the Bay Area and its origin is there, and we never heard about it. Like on the other side of the goddamn, like it never made it across the bridges or something. And then I didn't
Yeah,
find out till I was in my mid-20s either. Like,
yeah, we're like, well, we grew up like. Do you remember me in high school?
yeah,
Really?
I remember hanging. No, I remember the 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 days I remember the most about you is when you lived across the street from Dennis, and we used to
Fuck.
hang out. Yeah, in your
That,
garage,
what
and you.
happened to Dennis Fott? Where is Dennis Fott?
I actually talked to him a few months ago. Like
He
I
used to
hadn't
bang his
talked.
girlfriend on waterbed in my garage, in my room. I
Yeah,
was like, dude, you're fucking him in a room again, dude. What are you
yeah,
doing, man?
he's living out. He's living out. I think out by Hollister. I think from what I remember, he's got. Yeah,
What
he
happened? Is he happy?
he is. I think he had a bad marriage. To Rachel, the girl he was going out with in high school.
That's the girl who's banging in my
Yeah,
room.
and he has kids with her. And then that didn't go so
Wow,
well.
they stayed together all that
They did.
time.
They did.
Wow, Dennis, congratulations. Well, okay,
And she's up in Portland now. She has a restaurant in Portland called Fat Milo's.
oh shit, I'm in Salem. I'm like real
Yeah.
close to those guys. I'll have to reach out to
With
her.
with
That's
her
hilarious.
new husband. And then Dennis is out in the Central Valley, um, with his new wife. Living like you think Dennis would, right? He's got fucking quads and you know, he's got
Well,
motorcycles and
that
quads
suburban he
and
had was
Jeeps.
that you remember that big fucking
That's suburban.
monster of a fucking vehicle he had?
Yeah.
We were take rides in it. That was crazy. What year
Yeah.
was that thing?
It's a 55 Suburban
Fuck.
on an international frame. So that like an international four-wheel drivetrain.
Does he still have that car?
I don't think so. I think it was for sale in the early 2000s. I think I remember driving by his mom and dad's house and seeing a for sale sign in the back of it.
Were they still off of Skohagen over there?
Yeah, they're still off of whatever. It's Sherman Oaks. You go back, Sherman Oaks turns into something else and then goes.
So they're still at the house that I lived across the street from?
Yep.
That is wild. Okay, here's another name. Dave Presta.
Yeah. Dave's a pilot.
That's wild. So is he
he's flying.
because me
He's
and
flying
Dave, I'm
private
like, if we're
jets.
gonna air out some little grievances, it's so funny because he picked on me and got me in so much fucking trouble in fucking high school. And he wrote the name of a girl I liked that I was liked, and he wrote it on the board, the blackboard in the Brett likes, I forget her name, Sarah. That was one of the most embarrassing things that ever happened to me. And he one time, I mean, he would put me in such awkward fucking situations. I know his father passed away. That's before I playing a tennis match. I have a rock solid memory. I don't know how I know that or through the grapevine or whatever.
That's a true story. Yeah, I think they were on the court at the same time.
Playing paddle tennis or something like
And
that.
his dad just died.
Yeah, he's a big man too. So that must have affected him.
So yeah, so he went obviously right. His dad had the P-51 Mustang and was a pilot, and he just went right into all that.
I have a funny story about him, dude. you want to hear it real quick?
Sure.
It's kind of bad.
I go way back. I go way back with him. I mean,
Okay, check this
go
shit
back.
out. Okay, I'll tell you a story about Dave Presta, and then you tell me one. Okay, let me see if you can top this one. Dave, this is for you. This is for you, Dave. It gets back to all the picking on me that you did in high school, and all the fuckery. His girlfriends would complain about him to me, so I became the Ducky character.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I thought they were hot, and I was like, "What the fuck are you doing, messing around with this fucking weirdo?" And I once apparently have a huge cock apparently, but we were outside the library that were there in San Jose.
Which
It was off of like Prune Yard area or something. It was in, I forget where it was, but we were walking to the thing, and there's an old lady in a car. We can bleep all this if this, I don't want to get anybody in trouble, but it is Dave Presta. It is legendary bullshit. But there's this old woman in the car in the driver's side, and he whips out his dick and starts smearing it on the window, patting it like that. And she's like, ah!
Nice.
I was like, dude, what are you doing? And he was cracking up. And I was like, dude, put your dick back in your pants. Dude, you're gonna get this woman a heart attack. And I'm an innocent, I'm a pretty easygoing guy. But I was like, this is daylight. It's like, whatever. And I was like, what the fuck is this guy doing? Anyways, your story next. Does that sound like
I don't have any
like something Dave would do?
God, yeah, oh yeah. Totally. I don't know if I have anything a specific story. I'll probably remember something after we get off of this though.
Okay, so that's your time, Dave.
We hung out when we were like little kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got the freshman, sophomore, junior. I think I started trying to break it off probably in the sophomore, junior era, but he tracked me. We had a fun high school. Like I talked to people about Del Mar, and you're the class of 89, right? 87. So you're the year before, yeah. Don't you think we had a particularly progressive high school? And
yeah, I think big time. Yeah, I don't know if the demographic was good. It was in a good part of town, a decent part of town. And we dealt with a lot of shit, like a lot of weird stuff at our age, right? Like the Vietnamese, flooded our area into the apartments and stuff in the early 80s, right? Over there off of Lee Avenue, adjacent from the end of San Jose City College's football field, right? Those apartments back in there, Minker, back in that area.
Yeah.
So we dealt with Vietnamese. There was no racism, right? Like,
yeah,
they were just different people. Yeah. I remember,
it was like we were living in a Ferris Bueller's Day Off for 4 years.
Totally.
And I remember walking down those hallways, even like as a junior or something like that. And I have a really good memory for some reason being a stoner. I don't know what it is, but I very visual. But I remember like going through those hallways and like going, remember this moment because it's not going to be here forever. This is going to be gone. And it was just the shadows of the people walking. And we had a very congenial, like the geeks were friends with the jocks, and the goths were friends with, we had a very, like I remember seeing the quad and having like maybe 4 or 5 pregnant women or girls in the quad smoking cigarettes with the goths and the punks.
Yeah.
And it was like we were smoking in high school. It was nuts.
It was weird because like all the school closers, right? The school closers in the 80s, like snow globed everybody. Like Sherman Oaks right there by where where we lived closed, and it forced us to Blackford into somebody else's district to go to elementary school, right? And then we went to Campbell Junior High School, so we're way the hell out in Campbell. So we got to mix with a lot of different people. And then from Campbell, people split off to high schools, right? So we came back in our neighborhood and we knew all these different people, right? Like Darren Kiesler and Mike
Ah,
Williams
yeah.
and Ken Bowen. I would have never met those guys until high school, right?
Yeah.
But we got to go to junior high together because of the school closures, and they threw us into Blackford, which is where they went, right? So we get to meet, and then we all kind of got dispersed. Some people went to Westmont, right? Because that's over by Campbell Junior High School.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's weird. It's weird the way we were dispersed. But people at Del Mar, like fucking dude, I grew up with people. Like there were elder classmen that I went to Sherman Oaks with, like Derek Worley and like those guys, that Rick Green. And all
That's
of a sudden,
the Rick Green. I wouldn't necessarily maybe not in my biosphere. I knew like
yeah,
when I first got to Del Mar, my friends were like Marcelo Valenzuela. We were more of a
sure.
Campbell Junior High guys. Yeah,
Yeah.
but we lost touch. You know, people split into different factions sometimes. Like in high school, like when from the junior high thing. So the friends that were friends with you in junior high are no longer that friends with you. I mean, they're kind of in a Marcelo
Right.
Valenzuela particularly, but and that would be great. Eric Ichiami was sort of my friend from,
Yeah.
he's a solid guy. Do you remember that guy?
Yep.
He lives back in Hawaii now. I want to get in touch with him, but really cool graphic. But he's also dating that older girl that was. I was like, whoa, you're dating like a girl that was out of high school, right? Did you? But anyways, maybe that's naughty. Maybe I should bleep that. But I was like, dude, you're the man. Shit. Anyways, it just very progressive high school. Eric, do you know Richie Eichhorn?
Yep.
I'd love to get him on this podcast, but he became the socialite. You know, he's a club kid, and he's a fashionista guy in New York still, or
Yeah.
you know, his thing. And but he always had the is we had an eclectic. There's so many interesting, diverse. Uh, Nicole Meinzer, who became Nick Meinzer, very progressive. You know,
Yeah, for sure.
back in the day.
And yeah, nobody, right? Nobody really judged anybody. Like,
I know we had so many cute girls back then. There's so many punk rock little, anyways, things. We had a wild thing. I found out after I was the only one not getting laid. Everyone was fucking. I was like, oh, I'm the only one not getting laid here.
oh,
And I was
man.
like, dude, come on. We've had some people pass away too. Donna,
Yep. She was on my girlfriend list.
you guys, that's fun. Was she a cheerleader for a little bit? Were you
She
doing the
was
football thing back then?
I did, and then I had this really bad virus in my knee. And I had to have surgery. I was in the hospital for 3 months, and it kind of interrupted athletics at Del Mar for me.
What was the? Do you know why?
It,
How?
it was yeah, it was what was it? It's my sophomore summer before my junior year. Fucking around at the behind the dam, right? With Dennis behind Vasona Dam, fucking around in the water
On the
behind
pipe?
the dam.
That's the one with the pipe that you can jump off of?
No, that's just like a regular, like real kind of low spillway area, but it's got like a bunch of pools back there that are like rectangle concrete ponds that the water kind of goes through.
Yeah.
We're back there fucking around. I slipped on some algae, cut my hand wide open on the palm on a piece of glass, and rode all the way home with a fucking tourniquet sock on my hand, rode my bike all the way back home, got stitches from it. And then later, I don't know, weeks later in the summertime, I got a really bad fever.
That's like a form of tetanus or something, right?
It was osteomyelitis is what ultimately I got. And what
Fuck,
I
man.
was sitting I was sitting on my BMX bike actually at Del Mar in the parking lot, and I can't remember who was riding a skateboard fell, and the skateboard shot out, hit me right in the knee. It's just sitting on my bike. And ultimately the virus went to the place of trauma and attacked my knee. And I was in the hospital for a fever, and all of a sudden they went to take blood from me, and I passed out in the chair in the hallway.
Yeah.
Rolling me to get blood. And then they checked me in, they put me in a room, and my knee started to hurt really bad that night. It actually locked the joint. I couldn't bend it. And they took me into surgery that night, drilled in. The fluid was building so fast it was gonna splinter the bone in my knee. So I had to be on meds. I had to stay on IV in the hospital. I was there for 3 months. I lost like 30 pounds or something, which I didn't have 30 pounds to give.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're not a big guy anyways.
No, and I was on crutches. I had to have a tutor for the first month of school. So that kind of fucked everything, right? That's when football normally is. So yeah, I stopped doing sports at that.
That's heavy back when you're young like that too. To be
Yeah, I was on the swimming team. I was doing track and football, and it stopped everything pretty much at that point. So junior and senior year, I didn't do anything. I didn't go back to track or anything. We just started fucking.
How do you feel now? How's it complete? Is it out of your system completely, or do you have?
Oh yeah, that school year.
Yeah.
After I came back to school, I started putting weight back on and was fine. But that's where I met Donna the first time. Dennis was dating her friend, and I was at home, right? Like I was away from social everything. So I went to the football game on crutches. I wasn't even enrolled. I wasn't even back at school yet, and met her at a football game, and she was playing volleyball and stuff. And yeah, that became a thing.
In slow motion.
Her house. Her mom was one of those safe house moms. Like, you guys ever get in trouble, come hang out at this place. If the cops are ever chasing you, this is the place to hang out. So
I remember I hung out with her and her mom once at the table in their house. I forget, we were all having we're all hanging out. Donna was super cute and super.
And that neighborhood's like a bunch of courts that back up to each other, right? So you can.
I forget that specifically. I just remember talking to her and her mom. I think I might have drawn Donna a picture as well. Maybe, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
We were probably maybe coming back from probably a party or something. I think something. I don't know. There's a lot of parties. It might have been. Do you remember Trisha McIntosh?
Yep. There's a lot of parties, dude. A lot of.
She had a party once at her house, and I'd taken pictures. I took pictures. We did some picture because I shot photography and so. Anyways, we had some pictures, but she was so funny. I just remember this party she had at her parents had left for the weekend or something, and she had this fucking crazy fucking party. Everyone really drunk. Right, I probably drove my moped there or something because I drove around a little moped at the time a little bit sometimes, but before I got a car. But and her parents came home during the middle of the party.
Whoops! Record player, fucking
that
needle.
Was the fucking
record player needle thing. Skipping the record now,
dude. There must have been 100 people there, maybe more. I don't know. It was insanity, and everybody like just evacuated immediately. Like it was like everyone's like just get out now, quick, go, just disbanding. I remember the mom or the father walked in and was like, what the fuck?
Oh man.
And it was like you'd see that it's like a movie. It was unreal. There's way too many people there.
That happened at Ed's house, Ed Fournier's house with us one night. His fucking parents came home. It's like, luckily we had scaled it.
You want to see, and everyone's fucked.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Underage drinking going
or
on.
Something, or Zimas. Yeah. I don't know what the fuck was going on.
Yeah, fucking Zima. Bartles and James and fucking diamond coolers all over the house.
Oh yeah. People got fucked up, and I remember like dry humping this girl after I drank the tequila worm at this one party in the bushes. It was just unbridled, like, no, like, we're like in the bushes and people are walking by. And I was trying to, we were not, and we shouldn't have been allowed outside. But what Trisha McIntosh, do you ever know what happened to her?
No idea.
She remains a mystery. And Dave Press is good. Who else? I'll tag this on Del Mar, but so what we did sort of a past, present, and future. Do we have anything we want to talk about Del Mar about, or is that we want to end it on that?
We could end it there. We could go on. We could just do a podcast on Del Mar.
We should. Well, this will be the first. Maybe all the Del Martians out there, come on, we'll do some special Del Martian. There's some great stories there. I did one with Renee Bamblaf. You remember her? She's a musical.
I don't.
Uh,
I'm a visual guy though too. You show me a picture of her, I'll probably remember. Like that would be it.
Yeah, but
I got really bad, like in my fucking 30s. Like somebody would approach me at the grocery store. Hey, Dave Bird, and I'm like, hey, how you doing? Like,
yeah, I'm bad.
Please tell me your fucking name because I have no idea who you are.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really the same sort of way. Maybe that's a 426.9 thing because I'm really good with people's faces. But like, have you ever had this happen? Like, where you have one friend that you've known for 20 years or whatever, and then you have another friend that you've known for 20 years or whatever, or 10 months or whatever, it doesn't matter. And then they've never met, and then they meet, and you forget both their names when and like, hi, this is like, Bob. You want them to, you try to like usher them, like, you say your name.
Yeah.
Has that ever happened to you?
I can't say it has.
It happens to me all the time. I don't know, my brain locks up sometimes during like it's too, like, you forget one name and then like you don't want to be the, like, I don't know. It's weird. It's weird.
Yeah, I'm terrible. I'm terrible with names. It takes me like meeting new people. It takes me a few times to remember again. My wife's completely opposite. She remembers people forever, their birthdays and everything. I don't even like new hires. Like I don't even learn their names until they're there with me for a while.
Until you fire them.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, pretty much.
Bob, Joe. You're fired. Yeah. You know you saw it.
I do have the right guy, right?
Is it Bobby? Forget it. Sorry, not you.
It's funny. I'm getting ready to fly back to California on Sunday.
Mm.
I just lost my mom. I just lost my mom in November.
Sorry to hear that.
So I'm going back.
How old?
The good thing is I can tell any fucking story I want now on any podcast. Like, yo, yeah, I had parties at my parents' house. We're getting ready to sell it.
Yeah, I hear that. That's I heard that before, but that's like sort of the some sort of weird reconciliation when a mother dies. I don't know if it's because it's from the boys or the child's perspective, but there's a certain relief that happens. Woody Allen is Woody Allen a little bit of something a little bit of something happens, or that was the worst, but like it's like some sort of like thing checks off or something. I don't know what the fuck it's called, but you're trying to. Do you feel like a sense of like she's probably not in pain anymore, which is awesome, but like also is there a disconnect or the father relationship?
She wasn't in pain. I don't know if you're ever at my house. My mom was handicapped. She had polio. She survived polio. So she couldn't use one of her arms. And she's 83 years old. She just got old. And like every time I fly back for work, because one of our shops is still in San Jose. So I'm back in the Bay Area every 6 to 8 weeks since I moved here. And it was getting to the point where I'd fly home and just, be worried. Like I'd get on the plane and go, was that the last time? Right. Like she was starting to lose weight. She's just getting really elderly. And then she had a slip and fall in her house, went down on the carpet, didn't even hit her head on anything solid. Called my brother. My brother went over there, had for 45 minutes, they were having a conversation. And then she started like forgetting words and like slipping words. And, she had a brain injury, and she went in 5 days, was in and out of it. She started to come back for a while, and then was starting to put sentences together. And then the next day we came, she was out and never came back.
But so did they do an EKG scan on her between that and the time?
Yeah, I mean several times.
So they were detecting those things, probably, maybe.
I mean, it was to the point where, she was so old, you can't drill into into the brain. Like she is having epileptic seizures because of the pressure of her brain. You know, it's just a brain bruise, basically. And just never recovered for it. And we unplugged her and she went in like 4 hours. So is what it is, right? She's got old, and that's one of the two things we can't control, right? Where we come into this world and we all fucking leave eventually.
Yeah. It's
She's
for one, it's what
she lived a full life, and you know, now I'm flying back. You know, we're splitting up stuff and talking about selling the house. So I'll be back there. I'll be seeing a whole bunch of people from Del Mar. I'll be seeing when I'm out. That I see every time I'm out there.
you gonna see Dennis? No, he's
I won't see Dennis. He's in the Central Valley. I'll contact him on one of the other trips, like in the spring.
Gosh, that'd be funny. I'd love to have a conversation with that guy someday.
I'll be going out for some longer runs in the spring, so I'll probably contact him ahead of time and see if he can meet me. He still works in the Bay Area.
Do you remember that one kid? I'm sure you do. Was that guy? He started a skateboard thing and it got kind of big. He's kind of an asshole. He gave me my nickname Cheese back in. What's that?
Who? Mark Leal?
Who's the guy that started a skateboard company in San Jose and it became pretty big? He became
Simon Woodstock.
Yeah.
Yeah, Simon Woodstock.
Can we talk some dirt on that guy? What happened to him? First of all, I unfriended him on Facebook in the mid-early days of Facebook because he became some sort of Christian white wing weirdo preaching and screaming at people on fucking Facebook.
Huh.
What happened to him? Do you
don't know. I didn't after junior high school, I just didn't
yeah, he gave me my
anymore.
He gave me my I put in the yearbook the cheese. And it made me feel so. One time, I think it was probably Campbell Junior High. He's like, "Oh man, you look like a piece of cheese," and the whole room laughed hysterically at me.
The moment that magical moment where people get their nicknames.
Holy fuck!
It's funny because I worked with a guy at Spoons, Brooke. That's really close with him, actually.
Brooke. Or probably is that a dude or
Brooke Shattuck? He's a guy I worked with there.
Didn't somebody kill somebody from one of your places? Didn't somebody get in for murder or something? Somebody killed a Del Martian killed somebody, like a weird thing that happened. And did you ever hear about that?
No, who's this?
I don't know. I forget it. Continue with your story because I thought maybe he might have been in your year.
He may have been. There's a bunch of fucking. I'm surprised all of us lived, honestly. My wife hears different stories all the time, like when I get together with friends or we see somebody we haven't seen in a long time. She's like, fucking, I don't want to hear. I don't know how you guys all lived. And
Dennis spot. We would go to Del Mar when it was closed down. People hung out there. Del Mar was so cool in high school. We went there when it wasn't open.
Yeah.
And we would you know, I had my crush was Jessica Valley for 4 years. She's since become an artist. And I tried to get her on the podcast, but she won't have anything to do with it. But and she married somebody from high school. A lot of people from that high school became cops. Did you find that to be in your
who became a cop?
I don't know. I can't remember names. And they all married each other.
Yeah, there's a lot of a lot of marriages happened. Yeah. I'm finding a lot of the marriages that happen in high school are no longer marriages, though.
Really? I'm still friends with Pumpkin. It's Elaine Rossi. I'm still friends with her.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, she's great. She still lives in that area, and her husband's great. I got kicked out of her. I was at her marriage. They did it at the like some sort of event hall. It was a like athletic club in downtown, and I got kicked out of her wedding.
At the Olympic Club?
Maybe that's it. Yeah. It was my friend left me. My friend Sarah, and I went. And this is Elaine Rossi, and she's amazing. She's so fucking funny, and a great, amazing cook, and her husband's amazing. And but I got kicked out of her wedding. My friend left me because she started getting a headache. So I was abandoned at this all you can drink bar with all these Italians, and they did not like me. Woo wee! They like threw it was like I thought I was like in a mafioso sort of situation at first. I was like, they're all, no, you need to go. I was like, all right, okay. Anyways, fun times at Del Mar High.
What happened to Julie? Did you do a piece with her already?
Julie Talley?
No, Samsel.
No, I tried to get her on. I was blowing up her messenger without trying to be a jerk and saying, "Can you come in?" Because she said sometime this week, and then you okayed it for this time, and I was like, "Well, let's go on with or without her and just talk about what we talk about, really." But that'd be we're basically the inception was due to a 4/20/69. Like her birthday's that way, so maybe
That's great. So it's crazy. I grew up with this birthday, and I always thought it was a hindrance, right? Like, think about the shit that's happened a week. Like,
dude, I get nervous around my birthday too.
Up until I heard about this 420 stoner shit. I mean, it's bad enough, right? Being born on the same day as Hitler, but
well, you got Chaplin though. You got Chaplin balances that out. You got
sure.
I mean, not saying that.
Here, let me scroll.
We get rid of one.
I've got another screen open here because I can never remember all of them. So you've got April 12th, right? The Civil War. The week of our birthday, April 14th, the Titanic sunk. Also, President Lincoln got shot, right? April 15th, the Boston Marathon bombing. And this one's more recent. You know, the Notre Dame Cathedral fire, also on the 15th. The mass shooting at Virginia Tech, the 16th. Fertilizer plant explosion, April 17th. San Francisco earthquake, April 18th. David Koresh, Waco, Texas, April 19th. And the Oklahoma City bombing. And then, of course, my local high school where I live now, like a half mile from me, Columbine High School, April 20th.
Yeah.
Just like the crazy shit. And there's more. This is just like the first fucking story I found. But there is a shit ton of like garbage
that happens around that time.
That happens like April 20th. Like I was always like, hey, what the, I think the Pan Am plane that got shot down was on the 20th. Like there's a lot more. That's a very short list. 15 historic disasters, it's called. It was just the first one I pulled up, but it's like this. It was always this curse. Like, yeah, you're born on 420. It's like, you know what I think of that?
So the core, but everything like once the Columbine thing happened on 420 because it's Hitler's birthday as well, and I was like, it just because a couple of other things happened around that were bad, and so it kind of echoed a little bit like that it was like oh shit, what the fuck is gonna happen right now? Right, like something bad gonna happen right now.
Sure.
It's my birthday almost.
Yeah, no, totally. It's weird. Obviously it's a big thing here. Like, and I'm always gone. Since my 21st birthday, I always go down to Long Beach. Since I'm a racing fan, I go down to the Long Beach Grand Prix IndyCar race down in Long Beach. I've been doing it for however many years. So I'm always out of town on my birthday. But now that I live here, and the 2 years I've lived here, I've also gone to Long Beach from here. I need to stick around once because they do a really big memorial at the high school, and there's my wife and I, it's our like local park that backs up to the high school. There's a lake and like their library, and it's funny, one of the drug commercials that's on TV right now, there's a lady doing yoga in like a gazebo lakeside, and I forget what the name of the drug is. I'm like watching it. I'm in my living room here. I'm like, holy fuck, that's like our local like Vasona here.
Yeah.
It's like the little lake that's like right down the street. you know, in all the places on the planet, there's a little lake. They shot this drug commercial there, but that's also backed up to Columbine High School. And right up above that lake, they have like this really cool memorial, like in this, it's a hill they've made a volcano out of, and you hike up the outside of it and go down in the bowl, and they have like this whole, you know, there's stone, a bunch of stonework and bricks and memorials.
Looks like a Mandela or something like that.
Yeah, right. And then there's there's an eternal fountain there, and like it's this really cool spot that's kind of out of the wind, right behind the high school. So I'd like to stick around and like be a part of that, since
Yeah,
it was one of those California things. It's like, holy fuck, not again, right? On my birthday. And now I live like, my mom was super thrilled when I moved here that I'm like, oh yeah, my house is right by Columbine High School. She's like, you know, curses.
Did they tear that high school down, I thought, and rebuild a new one?
No, they rebuilt a bunch. Yeah, they tore down a bunch of where it happened, the wing it happened in, and built new buildings on it. But the school is still on its original site, and you know, I have to be careful in my 55 Chevy when I go fucking hauling ass by it, right? Because it's the first high school to have a 24/7 cop that sits in front of it. So you always know there's going to be police in front of the high school because they're there around the clock. Even
that's actually feels like probably kind of nice to have that, unless I know you are a kind of guy, but to have that sort of protection in the area.
Sure. It's
more military based, more like yucky.
It's a nice neighborhood anyway. I just couldn't even imagine being in high school again, right? And having to deal, or having a kid that has to get trained on, you know, a shooter event. Like that's what kids deal with now, right? Like, kind of glad I didn't have any.
Yeah, that goes back to the we had like this fucking shit free for all at the most innocent of the 80s. We had Van Halen, we had Morrissey. There was did you ever go? You're more probably not into that goth crowd that I ended up sort of one of the ping pong in between. But like was that club that was Club 49 or something? What was it?
God, I don't know.
There's a club that everybody would go to.
I mean, there was the Oasis. That was the big one to try to get into. Fucking, I was never a dancing.
No, yeah, because I never went to the Oasis either. That was not my.
Yeah, I was at shows at the Cactus Club. Like I saw fucking bands like I saw Green Day, I think, at the Cactus Club, like before they were anybody. A bunch of bands like got their starts there. I think I saw Gwen Stefani there.
That's hilarious. That's fun. I saw some early video of her doing some outside of San Francisco or something like that. Some her first like performances, for coincidentally just triggered that. But like yeah, it was a motley crew back then, those 80s.
Oh.
Those audiences, but were not the like was it like Club fucking Bizarro or something like that? The last night this club was open, we were there, and it got fucking people were throwing because we had glass back then, right? We had glass for beers. They started fucking throwing glass bottles in the place.
Oh Jesus!
And then it fucking got shut down. It was some punk rock club. Anyways, we had a fun time. It's almost like that. I mean,
no, it was a good time to grow up, man. Like a lot happened.
Do you think cell phone, if you would have had a cell phone, that it would have changed your life?
Oh, 100%. 100%. I mean, look at the generation after us. Like my parents didn't know where I was going. They didn't care where I was going. Like, you know, the rules were be home by dinner. And I was just gone all day on my bike. Some days we would just ride our bikes as far as we could ride our bikes. And then fucking turn around, because right, like it took us 2 hours to get here. Like we need to get back to dinner, right? That's the only rule.
We were latchkey kids for sure.
Yeah. And my dad knew without GPS where I was. Like, I know you fucking rode your bike as far away from the house you could go today. Like, how'd you know that? I'm a dad. That's how I knew. It's like, fuck off.
Taco Bravo is only that far away. I know.
Yeah. I
Do
actually
you
went
remember
there
the
the
fight
last.
for the parking lot, the Taco Bravo?
Oh yeah. Oh,
I split up a fight back then, and I'm a little guy. I'm not like you guys size, but I'm like 5'8". But like back then, I was like probably like 5'6", 7, 6.5, maybe at the most. I mean, like no, I'm 5'6". Fuck that, I'm 58 inches, whatever that is. But I had to break up a fight because everyone was like, "Yeah, woo, yeah, kick his ass, motherfucker." It's like, and I'm like an empathetic character. I'm an empath. I don't want to see any pain. If we're all having our burritos that were way too big and way too good for what we were paying for them, right? You remember those fucking burritos you get there?
yeah. I
The
just had
cheese coming out the fucking top.
yeah, when I was there, when I was there and I lost my mom, I like went from, I just drove down to, there's a, where the Garrett used to be, there's a beer place called Out of the Barrel, serves killer microbrews.
Nice.
I went down there, had a beer, and you can see out the fucking Taco Bravo signs like lit up on the other side of the street. I can see it. And I'm drinking a beer outside and I'm like, fuck it. Like, I want to get a burrito and go back to my mom's
Yeah,
house.
I did the
Go
same
to
fucking
Crash,
thing when I see it.
like old days. Like, yeah,
Was it
totally.
the same?
It's fucking, yeah, I ordered it the same way. Like, I ordered it by code, and the fucking guy, 30 years later knew the code still.
What's the code? What do you mean?
A green without with extra. It's like a
Oh.
fucking burrito with green sauce, no onions, extra cheese. Like I called it out. He's like, turns around, no extra. I'm like, that's the one.
Oh my god, we got then the yeah,
So
that was
good.
a hilarious time. God, we gotta make a movie or something about that. I'm sure there's a story in there somewhere.
Yeah, there's a lot of stories around that place.
Can I take a leak real quick? Are you good for a little bit more?
I'm good. Yeah, my
How much
wife's.
longer do you want to go?
However, whatever you want to do, man.
Okay, let me take a quick leak. You can either talk to the camera or we could have an intermission. Do you want to go to the bathroom real quick?
I don't need to. I've got a bathroom like right there. I'm in my basement. It's killer. I've got a Colorado has basements. I've got a fucking bar.
Nice. Well, let's you can talk to the camera and I'll put you on full screen and I'll go use the restroom and whatever you want to say is what you want to say.
I'll see you. You don't have some awkward like fucking intermission music you're gonna play?
We could, unless you want to just this will be the Dave Bird show now.
No, it's good. Go ahead, man.
Okay, so if whatever you decide to do or not to do, we'll keep or not keep.
All right.
All right.
All right. All right. It's funny because fucking here's what I remember about Brett. So we talked earlier about he lived across the street from my best friend that I grew up with. And I remember he was a theater dork, theater nerd. Worked at the movie theater. He can correct me if I'm wrong. And I remember popping in across the street and my friend Dennis is sitting in a chair with a mask of plaster and straws sticking out of his mouth. Couldn't even see Dennis's face. And I'm like, what the living fuck is going on here? Apparently they just decided to make a plaster of Paris, like mold of his face to make a latex mask. And here's my friend with a face full of plaster, with 3 straws he's breathing out of. And they pulled the shit. I remember they pulled the plaster off his face, and his eyebrows were all stuck in the plaster. So he got some real hair in the latex mask they were making, and I don't know what he ever did with that. Brett was doing special effects and all kinds of stuff back then. Pretty crazy.
Oh wow, were you not? I'm sorry. What were you talking about?
I was talking about you. I was talking about a memory of you I had that you'll see in detail when you play this back. I remember showing up at your house, like you lived in the garage. You had that little room in the garage.
I'm still in the fucking garage.
Right. And I remember you worked at the Century Theaters. Is that right?
Yeah, Century 23.
So you had
and then
so you had movie posters up all over the place, and you were crazy good at art. So some of it was yours, some of it was movie theater art. And I fucking go over to your garage, the garage door is open. And that's how we just used to access it, right?
Were
You
you-
either had to go in the side door, go around the front of your room to get into it, or if the garage, you could get to it. So I go in there and fucking Dennis Fott is sitting in a chair and his face is covered with plaster, dude. He's breathing out of straws. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on, dude? I remember I just told the story, but I remember you took the plaster off his face and all his eyebrows were stuck in the plaster, like ripped his fucking eyebrows out. I think you ended up making it like a latex mask or something out of his face.
yeah.
Which would have been the ugliest fucking mask you probably ever made of Dennis's face.
Whatever happened to that? Whatever happened to that?
Pretty funny, dude.
Yeah, we did. There was one time where I had like 3 people or 2. I don't know if it was Dennis's the time with Dennis, but fuck. I used to yeah, work with latex a lot and make molds and stuff like that. And I had like my mom came home and there's like kids on the lawn with plaster on their face with straws coming out of their noses. And she goes, "What the hell is going on?" And like, because I grew
I
up.
know how she felt now that I'm fucking in my 50s. Like,
Yeah,
what
I was
the
really
fuck?
careful with it. Some Tom Savini stuff. I was into like the Fly and all that shit, and making people's molds and fingers and stuff like that. I had the fingers that anyway cut off a bunch of cut off fingers. But yeah, those I was really into. I liked special effects back then. Yeah, we used to
Yeah.
do. Uh, yeah, nobody got hurt. People's houses may have gotten TP'd back in the day. Did you ever TP a house back then? Were you part of that group?
Fuck yeah. Lots.
The bad boys.
Especially when my life like intertwined with cheerleaders.
Oh shit, yeah.
Like we would just go fuck houses up and like blame it on the cheerleaders, like go fuck up underclassmen football player houses just for the fuck of it.
Is it
Just
a
like
badge of honor to have your house TP'd or not? Is it a badge of honor or
kind of?
it's like
Yeah,
you've been selected?
it is. I think if your house gets TP'd, you're somebody. Hey, buddies, come here. Come here. Come.
Oh, animal love.
Come here. Come here. Here, let's show you. We'll show you on the podcast. So this is my new passion here. So
Wow.
I'm fostering service dogs.
Wow, that's a cutie pie.
So I take these little guys. We do like
Oh yeah.
home house training. I keep them for a year, and then they go on to go to dog college. They go back to the people that own them, the company that owns them, and they find veteran homes for them.
It's sort of being
Just like a babysitter for a year, and just
but
I
it's like
teach
a
them.
specific purpose. That dog has a
Yeah.
specific purpose. That
guys
they,
with PTSD or disabled veterans that come back, and then some of the dogs, like the one we just the first one we did here, he didn't want to do any of that, so they peeled him off to be a family therapy dog. It's still a service member, living or dead. So right, either like if somebody lost their dad or mom service, the dog goes to their family, so they just have a family pet that's well trained.
yeah. Wow.
This guy's a pilot for FedEx and flies C-130s for still for the Air Force. And his kid is autistic. So the dog ended up being an autistic 7-year-old's like therapy pet. So this is our new one. We just got him a few weeks ago.
Well, that's are those so that dog might go to where is it all in the United States that dog is available to a specific person?
Yeah.
Do they already know where that dog is going to?
Nope. They wait. So after we have him for a year, he goes through a 6-month like more rigorous real training, like pushing electric buttons, right? Flipping light switches.
Wow.
Training in like a really intense environment. And then they figure out what kind of dog he's going to be for what kind of person, and then they go out and find a person for him. It's very singularly matched.
Very specific. Very specific. could be a seeing eye dog.
No, that's he will not be a blind. That's a whole different thing.
That's a specific.
That's a
lane.
very specific thing. Those dogs are bred to be guide dogs. But he could lead a guy with prosthetic, right? He could have a similar harness on his back. Yeah. Anyway, kind of fun.
That's a really inspiring sort of.
It's kind of neat. It's kind of neat.
Kind
Yeah,
of a win-win situation though too, because you get to love on that little buddy for a
and
little.
then I get 3 months off with like no dog.
It's like it's like being the uncle. These kids,
like being the
these kids,
uncle.
they're not here for the so you give it a little extra.
It's like having a foreign exchange student, right?
So
yeah, I mean,
it's probably gonna, but it goes to the next place, but it's gonna get like it's very loved. It's a very loved,
totally
loving little buddy. I mean,
there's
a finite amount of time that you have that dog for, so you're gonna get all. You don't want to get imprinted too hard.
No, it's tough. Well. Yeah. Yeah, we were lucky. The last dog.
That would be the hard part for me. That would be the hard part. That's where you got to be professional.
The last dog we did, we were lucky it stayed here 30 minutes from here, close to where I worked at the time. We just moved our company really close to my house. So, but the family actually invited us over to meet the family with the dog we raised and got to watch the dog put out the kid's autism attack in like 3 minutes. Like recognized the kid was freaking out. Took the kid back over to the couch, got up on the couch, laid his head in his lap, and just like in 3 minutes stopped his autism attack. And the parents were like in tears.
I'm gonna cry.
Like super, they were like super thankful. They're like, hey, this usually when our son has this autism attack, it takes hours for us to diffuse it. And this dog does it in 3 minutes. It's like by us helping train this dog, it gave them a life again, right? Because 3 hours out of your day to stop your kid from freaking out
and the anxiety and the whole
they get that 3 hours back, right? To do whatever, right? At dinner time. This was dinner time. I couldn't even imagine being having to go through that. And how hard that is on a marriage, right? You hear about, families breaking up because their kids are special needs, right? Or
it's hardcore, man, because it costs a lot.
It was really good to see. That made it way easier, giving a dog up that spent 13 months with us or whatever. So yeah, this one, hopefully we won't get as attached to. Hopefully this gets, I think it gets easier the more you do. Anyway.
Well, I mean, you can always,
it feels good.
And you could already, if you really become attached to the dog, you could become autistic a little bit, and maybe
we tried that.
Tell them, hey, it's
we tried that. Yeah, it didn't work with the last one. My wife really wanted.
Percentage of autism do you have to keep the dog?
My wife really wanted to keep him because we got the dog and just by chance. God, just a few weeks after getting him, she fell at work. She was doing catering and tripped on a tarp. It went down and tore her meniscus. So we had a dog, similar to the age of that one that we got to do this with. And it became she was off for 8 months on disability from the knee surgery. So the dog became her therapy dog. And then she had to give him up. So yeah, we tried, dude. We tried all that. It's cool. It's all good.
Yeah, dogs. When I lost my dogs in 2020, they just got old and passed away. Unfortunately, I didn't have to put them down. They died pretty naturally, but it gets a little wacky towards the end for sure.
Yeah.
It was right before COVID. It was like 2 weeks apart. It's then people kept on saying, why don't you get another dog? Why don't you get some more? Look at. I was all, dude, I can't even deal with that shit right now.
That's how we were.
Heartbreak is just too. I'm like, I had a gallery close, dogs die, COVID hit, remove out of LA after 30 years off and on. And it was like, and it's so weird how people were acting during that time. Did you get like when the COVID happened, like we're pretty kind of like in a wacko space. right?
It
Like
was, yeah, it was weird.
like before we knew it was a thing, it was like kind of creeping on, and this, and fucking that asshole was fucking yeah yeah.
Oh yeah.
Off. Yeah, let's not. We don't. I try not to talk about him here because it's just gonna be. That's a whole.
Yeah,
Other,
don't
talk
go,
about
don't go
that.
there.
We could talk about it, but
That
I
was
don't.
fucking, it was fucked up. It was a fucked up time. Like
Uh,
I was running a crew of 15 guys at my facility and trying not to shut it down and stay up. And it was just weird every day. It just got weirder. And at first, the first couple of weeks were a trip. Like,
now, do you remember Kobe died as well?
yeah,
Right before that, there's these little ripples of things that almost like earthquakes of consciousness or something. Because I remember going to because I was my dog Cosmo came from Santa Cruz where I left her body and they cremated him and put him in the mountains in Santa Cruz. But that was a road trip for Celeste because she just passed away. So we're going to our campsites and camping and doing this fucking vision quest. And then he died on the road, and I left, and I was camping, and I came back, and so things were just kind of fucking going wacko sideways before that, you know. And I don't think that the reason, I guess, it's not to point too much attention to myself, but I think there's a similarity to what was there's. You could feel something really intense was about to happen, or maybe it was just me, but like then Kobe died, and like I went to Venice to sell on the beach because I was like, and my dog, I was feeling lost. There's all these emotions, not trying to how to make money. Where do I live? I'm staying in a friend's apartment, trading artwork to stay there while he's away. And then Kobe died. I went to the Venice beach, and it was quiet. Everyone's walking around in a buzz. Like even driving to there, the billboards like Kobe Bryant were lit up like RIP. And there's this like disbelief, this fog,
sure.
this fog of reality. Like it was almost like Invasion of the Body Snatchers sort of thing.
Yeah.
So it's like a collective consciousness of thing sort of happened. It's like you feel things in a group heaviness. So then Trump's in office, and then COVID, we got smacked twice, and then,
No.
like 3 times. We're getting like it's a fucking Three Stooges thing happening. It's like what the fuck? And now look where we're at. You have any predictions for the future?
Fuck. No. It's like fucking
UFOs are over Oregon and
like,
New Jersey. There's like up
who
is
knows?
down, down is up.
Who knows what could happen this time, dude? Like fucking I don't it's unbelievable to me. Like it's gonna be 4 years of fucking hold my beer. Like, hey, hold my beer. Fucking here's another 4 years. Who fucking knows what's gonna happen?
It really made me feel like just like I was talking to some friends at this place I go and hang out at this every once in a while, once a week, maybe sometimes. It just made me feel really kind of heartbroken about. I thought there was more of the optimism. I had
Sure.
optimistic, and so there's a naivete that sort of feel like almost like that 9/11, a little not in that context, but like because even like I found myself like telling people like he can't get elected again, and then I'm like as I'm saying that I'm remembering the first
The
time as
first time,
I'm
yeah.
like telling myself
Like a
that
fucking
he
nightmare.
can't
You
get
like woke up in
elected,
the
right?
morning, like, how did that happen?
Like he can't. And I found myself echoing this. I was like, well, this is stupid. And I was talking to a friend, and he goes, "Oh, he's gonna get elected, right?" And I was
Oh,
like,
it's crazy,
"Oh,
dude.
dude, really?" He goes, "Yeah, oh yeah, 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 yeah." I was like, "Really?" And it was the same, almost exact thing that happened. If we had a deja vu. So do you think in general not we can talk about it, this is a freeform podcast, but like it's like this is all in some sort of it made me skeptical of the government more so than I've been in the past. I'm not like a political person, I'm a artsy fartsy kind of guy. But like it's just weird to see the different perspectives, like Brian Tyler Cohen's and Midas Touch Network and all these different like more centered, like kind of just journalism that's on podcasts, these guys. And but also I'm staying off the news as much as I did. And now I'm like backtracking. which they say you shouldn't be doing right now. We need you more than ever. But I can't watch what just happened to happen again. Like every daily update with Hegseth and Gates, obviously morons, and the
Oh
Elon,
yeah.
basically Elon buying an election, right?
Another just
Right.
it's another assembly of a band of idiots. Like,
But like, why are this is like gonna happen no matter what sort of situation? Like, what's happening here? Like, who's playing? Like, I don't feel as, I mean, coordinated with, like, why should I care sort of situation. You know, that comes up in your brain. You get the 360-degree vision of like what's like. Okay, well, I just spent like fucking 8 months fucking, in like the last 8 years. None of that stuff counts. This doesn't count. Doesn't count. Nothing. So all that emotionality, all that stuff, it doesn't mean I can't. I don't want to. I don't like it the first time. I'm not gonna like it a second time or a third time. I didn't like it the first time, and now we're being shoveled this piece of pile of shit.
I'm
We
just I'm
we
just
aren't.
I'm just hoping it's fucking like this is it, right? This is
Oh,
this
oh wow. Oh, my mom just bought a car. All right. Well, now she's got 4 cars there lined up. All right. Well, I'm doing a podcast right now.
I'm just hoping this is it. Like really, so if I put up with this fucking 4 years, it's over, right?
That's the thing. Okay, will we even survive?
Are we breeding?
Like this
Yeah.
is the thing about the
Is he gonna survive? Is he gonna survive?
well, like, in a weird thing, it's like we're okay. I'll try again. Kiko Mikako, that theologian, I don't know, scientist, basically when quantum computing comes online, which that's going to happen probably 2 years, 2 to 4 years from now, if not sooner, which I would think it would be sooner. It's going to change the landscape of reality. That, in conjunction with Elon Musk now being our shadow president, which I didn't want him to be president. I don't know if anybody asked that to happen. I don't did was that on the menu? Was and
God.
I mean, and now he's Info-tainment Swami, that douchebag.
Oh
I,
yeah,
right.
right.
And but like you got the guy has got more money than anybody. What does that look like when you come into robotics, AI, quantum physics?
Oh yeah. What's the project? What's the project he's working on?
Well, he's running America right now.
What's that fucking shit called? I try to stay out
And
of
people
this.
are like, oh, you. This one, I was on somebody else's podcast another night from Michigan. I went live, had insomnia, and he had me on as a guest. And we were talking about one of his guests, his buddies, is cool. We had a great talk, but he is talking how he calls Elon Musk big daddy Elon. I was all real okay.
The fucking Neuralink,
Yeah.
that shit.
Yeah, well, he's got more money. So are we now seeing where we're in a David Bowie song about the man who sold the world? Yeah, that's a good
Maybe
thing about that one.
maybe DJ's got, maybe he's a Neuralink patient. Maybe he's not even fucking alive anymore.
Dude, have you seen? He looks ridiculous.
Oh God,
He's got the white band across his head.
Yeah,
It's like, what the fuck is happening? Do you think Melania likes this guy?
no way. I haven't seen her on TV once with him.
No, she's been on the sidelines. But dude, she's not even gonna live at the White House. This is like what happened. This is like what we are thinking about as the bad thing that might happen if it didn't go good. But we're all in the 80s. We're good. We're like, we had, we didn't have cell phones. And there's that one have you heard that thing, that Y2K movie that's gonna come out?
No.
But I have a movie that's based in that time, that 2000s. Where were you in 2000?
Fucking in the Bay Area doing some automotive shit. 2000. I was living on Fruitdale Avenue. I was single. fucking going water skiing and shit like 3 days a week. I had like 6 cars. Yeah, I remember where I was.
Yeah, the Del Mar parking lot was very funny. Like, did you ever see this thing called what was it? Heavy metal parking lot?
No.
You gotta check it out. This guy did a video uh in 16 millimeter outside of a Judas Priest parking lot, like doing interviews with people in the parking lot.
Awesome.
It's a classic.
Can only
You
imagine.
want to have a flashback?
Hold tight real quick.
Okay. Well, if you had to go, I had to go.
Yeah, no.
It happens. I'm down. I'm pounding beers while I'm talking to you, so it's gonna happen.
I didn't go for me. I missed a signal, right? Your 17-week-old puppy comes down the stairway to check on you. It's like, what am I doing? Fucking I hope he didn't have to go to the bathroom, so I just went up and fed him.
Oh, good.
You can't leave the door open fucking here. It's 20 degrees or something outside. And so
Was he outside?
no, he's hanging out. He's up on like a fucking, like a $20,000 puppy. He's up on his dog bed upstairs, just chilling.
Nice.
I just rewarded him with dinner. Hopefully my wife's on her way home.
Yeah. Is it so what's the temperature out there right now?
It's like it was in the 50s today. It says it's 46 right now. That's probably a little colder than that.
That's similar to here. We had a high of 47 degrees a day.
It's been 20.
It's not like a wind chill though. There's no wind coming through it. That would have been a different thing.
Yeah, it's not windy here either. I live really close to the mountains, so the snowstorms they brew over my house. We're at 5,600 feet where I am, and then they go down the hill into Denver. So we kind of get a little bit more snow than Denver does. But
you got some good wildlife around there?
Oh, it's fucking everywhere, dude. I can go. We've got a really popular trail that we like. The wife and I like to go do. They don't allow dogs, so we'll have to make a special trip once the dog is old enough to just stay in his crate for a few hours. But we're like 9 miles from a trail that's got bighorn sheep. Like you hike up 2 miles and there's bighorn sheep fucking all over the trail, and bear and gold medal trout.
Bear mace in your bow and arrow, and
yeah, you don't really.
It don't strike me as a hunter type. You're not hunting. Are you a hunter?
Yeah, my dad was a hunter. Yeah, I've got.
You hunting? Do you kill things?
I haven't since the 80s.
Yeah. What did you used to kill? Squirrels? What they done a spot?
No, it was my dad was a bird hunter mostly. Pheasant and dove and shit. The squirrels. Just fucking shit. No, that was what I was doing in 2000. I was shooting fucking possums off my back retaining wall with a crossbow. In the overgrown fucking house I lived in, we called the shanty.
Yeah, you're shooting squirrels. People like to shoot squirrels for some reason.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever shot a squirrel.
I filmed this dog food commercial, and we went through and stayed at his aunt's house or something. They ran a Angus beef thing, right? An Angus beef, and she told me it's a crazy fucking story. One of our kids actually got killed on one of the machinery trying to unstick the gears out of this fucking killing device, and so she had 7 kids, and one of them got eaten up by the machine. She's like, I was like, oh my god, that sounds terrible. And
it sounds like Midwest problems.
Yeah, it's like a real big med. I was like, wow. So what do you when it's like only so many of these kids are going to survive. One of them's not going to make it, so we have a lot of them. I think she had 7 kids, and I guess that's just the farm life. But one of the guys was telling me, you got to give one up. That's
why you have so many. Because you're going to lose one or two.
It's like
you'll lose 1 or 2 in the combine.
Well, we got to make those steaks. Those Angus steaks are going to make themselves. Get them off the grill, and let's keep on going.
Let me ask you an art question.
Sure.
Let me ask you an 80s art question. More specifically, a Del Mar 80s art question.
Okay.
So you drew yearbook art.
Yeah.
Caricatures.
Yeah.
of a blonde dude with like a flipped up hair in the front
Yeah.
for the yearbook. You remember
They
these?
said that, yeah. Somebody had mentioned that they thought it was a picture of you.
No.
No?
I thought the story was it was drawn on Darren Kiesler. Is that true?
You know, all that stuff I didn't base though.
Okay.
To be honest with you, it's probably based on what I look like or a
All
caricature
right.
of me. Because, but like maybe it was. I'm very highly influenced by what I see, and so maybe it was an amalgamation. Like I couldn't like the teacher Delmar Shin. I didn't know if that was McLagan or but it or like or because McLagan was my art teacher. That did you ever have McLagan?
Uh-uh.
Yeah, he's my mentor. I like took like art class twice in high like I had an extra elective, so I would take it twice and that in photo with Miss Goitia.
Yeah, I was photo and graphic arts, architectural drafting. So I had Mr. Merrill.
Oh yeah, you guys like you were the
I was a technical artist. I could never
well
draw.
you well
My mom was a killer fucking artist. I couldn't do it. Like even through college, I would bring shit home and she's like, "Oh, that's so good." I'm like, "No, it's fucking not." Like I grew up in this house and know what art looks like. That's fucking not it. Like I was
Oh,
doing
but you shouldn't base. That's where people get kind of put off with art a little bit because it doesn't look like what they aspire to be that
yeah.
they've already seen. Where that's your own voice that you're collecting.
Yeah, I couldn't get behind it.
You got to get behind your own voice
I know. I couldn't
and
do it.
and let that be the journey of that experience. Like write it out because it's not. Maybe it's scary. It sounds like by the look on your face, it might be a little scary. But I think that's the fun of it. It's this whole journey of like exploration. Like painting to me is experimentation. I mean, I've got ideas for stuff, but how it ends up coming, that's the fun of it. Like
Yeah,
adding
I'll
a
probably
color, doing a different like
in
detail.
honor of my mom, I'll probably give it a try. My wife,
I think you'll love it. It's freedom.
I've got like a shit ton of art supplies at my mom's house that we're gonna have to go through. She
You're gonna
got
have to use up, but some of
her
them might be. Watch out because they might dry up. But they're acrylic, just squeeze them.
no, she's got really expensive fucking like pastel pencils and pens and shit.
Yeah.
She got really into watercolors the second time. It was something she had never touched, and she picked right up. Like she was an oil painter. Like she could oil paint when I was a little kid like nothing. Um, she passed whatever art institute is in LA, the big art college that's there. She passed on that when she was pregnant with my brother, and they moved to the Bay Area and missed out on her scholarship. Um, and then just always did it as an amateur.
And then,
And then in her 70s, she took up fucking watercolors and just crushed it. But she collected a lot of art supplies. My wife wants some of them. My wife started just doing painting and like a year ago, and she's fucking a natural. She's already like knocking out these cool. She bought a bunch of like 12-inch um already stretched, canvases at the art store and just started fucking crushing it with like one of those. We bought like these during COVID. She bought these like wood, not balsa wood, but like really thin plywood, like dinosaur models that you put together, like a bunch of pieces that are fucking laser cut,
yeah,
and you put like a T-Rex together, right? It's got its spine, and you press its ribs on, and with those, you're supposed to paint the wood when you're done, and it comes with like 6 little acrylic colors in the kit, right? She fucking took those things and painted on canvas a bunch of like sunset stuff from our back deck.
yeah.
I come home and she's got like 3 canvases done. Like first time I'm like, those are really fucking good, Jen. She's like, no, they're not. I'm like, no, those are good. Like she did one of our last dog.
You should send me images and I'll put them up. While we're talking about them, I'll put them up I'll put images of those if you take
Oh,
pictures.
I will. There's 3 of them on the table. She wants me to hang them in my new office at the shop.
Send me some good shots and I'll put them in the edit.
Yeah. All right. So she's going to California with me to call dibs on some of my mom's art supplies before they get donated. So we get her some.
Where in California you going?
I'm just going back to our neighborhood, bud. My mom's house, Sherman Oaks Drive, baby.
Ay, 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 ay,
Yeah,
ay,
the
ay.
house I was born in.
Hello.
We've got a bunch of her art to split up, like with
Well,
my.
you gonna try to capture a lot? What's your? I gotta say, what's your mindset? Are you gonna just try to get all the stuff that she created, or are you gonna let some of it go, or
No,
how you feeling about that?
When I moved, there was pieces my mom's like, yeah, I want you to have first dibs. You're moving to Colorado. Like, my mom never sold any of her art, so she's got it fucking just stacked up in her office. So I brought a half a dozen pieces out here that I really liked and would fit in my house here. Now that she's gone, I'll probably take some more and then I'll let my nieces and nephews, right? Everybody's got a different meaning.
Oh,
Those
so
kids,
like, other people are involved in capturing the supply.
yeah, my brother's family's all there. I've got,
That was a really
yeah,
crude way of putting it. I think
I want,
like there's more than you. Do you have? I never know. Do you have brothers and sisters, or am I?
I just have one older brother. He's 9 years older.
And is he gonna grab anything? Does he interested in this sort of thing?
In art.
Yeah.
No,
Well, or
he's
what?
fucking non
No.
he's pretty non-sentimental about stuff.
Do you guys
Um,
get along?
we do.
He's 9 years older than you.
9 years, yeah.
Wow, that's a big gap
He's
between kids.
class of 79, dude.
Dude, Delmar, class of '79.
Yep.
We should. Do you have a picture of him we can put up? Like,
I I don't know. Do I have one handy here?
my
Look, here's he and I as little guys.
Oh, look at the babies. Oh, 9 year gap. Unusual.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Same father, mother?
Yep.
Oh,
No, I don't have a picture of him down here. I
that's
could
fine.
get you.
I think we covered it. I
Here's,
think.
speaking of Delmar parking lot,
Oh, fuck. Oh, shit. What would
John
you have that car
Bowen and
still?
John Bowen and his oval window bug.
Yeah, dude. That's fucking hardcore right there. Where's that bug now? I think he's probably.
Yeah,
I had,
that's the morning. So this morning, this picture was taken. He hit Steve Anderson. No, when did he get in this accident? I can't remember what he hit in this car. But
Delmar parking lot.
he had a white 1960 rag top or 59 rag top. He rear-ended Steve Anderson on the way to school, and fucking or Steve Anderson. Yeah, he hit Steve Anderson, and I had a 60 bug that I was restoring, and I ended up buying a bunch of like I put his doors, like a bunch of stuff ended up on my car because the insurance company totaled his bug.
Man, that is fucking hilarious. And we're like, how old is like everyone's like 16 and 17 years old right now, or 18?
What's that?
Like during those times.
Oh yeah, yep. Just
That's
driving.
hilarious. No cell phone.
No worries in the
Internet.
world,
I remember
dude.
going like in Campbell Junior High. I remember going by they had the computer department or the computer kids, or like they'd have this one class. Like, these are computers, and I look in the doorway as I'm walking out of the hallway, and there's these gray, big, giant television consoles. And I was like, "What is that? That looks crazy."
Yeah.
I was like,
Oh,
"That looks
yeah,
nuts.
right?
Like, what is that?" And but those kids that were working in those little rooms probably rule the world right now.
Well, fuck yeah. And the kids that stuck with band, like in elementary school, I was in band. I played the drums.
See, that's what I was talking about. Like,
And
crazy. You're a jock and you're in band. So
yeah.
you're the things that most 80s comedies are made of.
And the kids that continued with that, like started fucking like Smash Mouth and like bands I went to see were all like band dorks that just stayed with it. Like fuck, I missed like
I loved it. I had who's that guy? Who's that gay guy that was a teacher?
I missed every fucking
Who's
winter.
that? Who's the guy that that area is like, who's the actor? Did you ever do the actor thing where who's he had black hair, heavyset gentleman who was the, maybe that's more of the actor's part, but you said band, so like
Yeah,
Lloyd,
no,
you probably knew Lloyd Stinson, the acapella guy. No,
sounds really familiar.
no, that was you. That because we are so close with the 88 and 87, there was a divide between the two groups.
Theater?
No, like just in the year, like 87 and 88. Like I always felt like you guys were always like, and I'm going jumping back. I don't feel like this as an adult human being. It's just kind of funny to recollect. I always felt like 80, you guys were the top tier. You had some athletes in there and some women in there, or girls at that point, where that were excellarly like beautiful, and everyone was
It's a pretty good, it was a
you know?
pretty good group. 87 was a pretty good group. Yeah.
How did you go to your reunions?
I went, I was so yeah, I was too close. I was too close to a lot of people, so I didn't go to the first couple, but I went to 25, I think. I went to one before that.
Can
Yeah,
you describe any of those moments that might come out in your recollection as being interesting?
it was pretty cool seeing some people, right? Like there was always a big disconnect for me because I didn't have kids. So I lost a lot of my friends in the 90s and 2000s because they just clung to people that had kids, right?
And that's
Like
an interesting thing. Is that weird? Like as okay, we're the same exact fucking age. Like isn't it that funny part of the life where I didn't know just till now that you didn't have kids. I assume that you probably did because you have a wife. But like Gen Xers didn't have kids.
yeah,
And when people start having kids, like I've got many friends that I still love, but like what something happens when you see a disconnect between people who have kids and who do not. It's almost like that thing about like the monkeys fucking in the trees and adolescence or some sort of menagerie or metaphor of the if things disband, like people that you thought were going to be in your life forever are now
yeah,
they're divided.
exactly.
It's almost like a new chapter in someone's life, a coming to terms with like, am I losing out? Am I missing the train? Am I doing something that I shouldn't be doing? Am I losing out on something? That FOMO. But then 20 years later, you made the right decisions, and we all know what's right for everybody.
Yeah, it was unfortunate. Like, yeah, there was people I was really close to that I just didn't talk to anymore because they had kids and right. Like I understand now like how finite time is. Like I get off work and I have like I have like 3 hours, right? Like with my wife. So it's really easy to go to, you don't have there's not a lot of time to waste. So if your thing is picking your kids up from school, there's another family there that your kids are friends with, that's who you're going to spend your immediate time with, right? So
Exactly.
you just lose if you're in a different circle, you just kind of lose those friends because time's so finite anyway. Um,
And you got a family to take care of. So there's like
yeah,
the fun
and that
stuff, the
right.
fun. Well, I found also
Cool.
people that the people that I know that have that acted like they're hippies. When that divide happens, they actually were really really rich. They were just acting like they didn't have money, and so they had this whole they had an out. Their whole context was supported already, so that's why they could be so I guess not caring about what things cost, and then
Sure.
when they start to divide, oh, they were rich the whole time. They were just like they already had a plan. I didn't have a plan. I was hoping to make it on my skills, but it was like, oh no, you need actually, like I was working with an artist. I was like, she's like, and I want to say I love her to death, and I was like, how's she doing these things? How's she traveling? How is she doing her thing? How's she trying to sell like a sketch for like a $200? And then she has her agent hated me. We had an art show together. He because I made sales and she didn't. But how's she able to travel around Art Basel and Italy? And oh, she's rich. She doesn't have to make a sale. She doesn't have to make a sale. She can just go, just have everything shipped and everything is. It's a party. I was like, well, okay, well, as like as a blue collar artist, it was like, oh well, that's not a bad thing either. It's just I didn't understand how it worked.
Sure. You're on a different path.
Probably. But like I was like, oh wow, it'd be fun to go. She's in Italy? What the fuck? I was like, what?
Yeah.
And she's selling like stuff for like, I love her to death. I won't name her because we just talked some a little bit of shit. But it's like it's a thing about like what you do and what you do. Like you're kind of born into your craft for sure. So you're an artist in that way, right? You're understand the mechanics of. That's probably the exciting thing about it. Where do you see it going now? Like even with quantum computing and all these AI stuff, do you see like that the shape of what you're doing, like visually? What would you see? Crafts or bikes or anything coming into?
I mean, I don't know. I mean,
What's the future, baby? What's it
we
going to look like?
I mean, we cater. I mean, we're not a manufacturer, right? So we cater to people that want to make their cars faster.
But you must seem sort of some sort of pattern in things, right?
Sure. Right now, the pattern's fucking people buying electric cars, right? Like, um, so we're gonna do some of that. We've promised our investors we're gonna make electric cars handle better. They're dog shit, but there's money in it. They all handle terribly. They're all too heavy.
But what if the grid goes out?
What do we care if we sold them a bunch of shit and they can't move their car? I don't care. Like they've got the best handling electric car that's dead in a parking lot, right? Like,
Are this
told you so.
Do you think that things about the Tesla truck is it all bullshit or are they or not?
The Tesla truck's a fucking turd.
It looks like a turd.
It looks like it is a turd.
I was like in the parking lot. I was like, pulled up. I was like, this is actually a really stupid looking car.
It's a turd skinned with metal. That's a turd. Chinese stainless steel that's rusting. Stainless.
So do you think those people are feeling like buyer's remorse at all?
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't know, 8 months ago when the thing started showing up in Colorado, I mean, this is a harsh climate, right?
Why would somebody? That's what climate is it made for? It's stainless steel. I mean,
it's made for like it's made for like a fucking like a warm desert or something. I don't know who would buy one. Just because you have money doesn't mean you should.
I think a lot of those fucking people that bought those things are gotta feel like an idiot.
They do. Those things were going for $140,000, $150,000. They were going for 30 grand over sticker, right? When you couldn't get one and they weren't out. Then they got them, and there's been 10 recalls in the year and a half they've been out.
So so this guy's got so much fucking money that he can build a non thing and doesn't care whether it works or not.
He's got a cult. Like just because it's a Tesla, people went and bought it.
But they look like douchebags. It's like that. What's a douchebag thing to do in the 80s? There's some douchebaggy maneuver or something.
There's always
a car was douchebaggy in the 80s. Like a Miata.
A car douchebag?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like a bad car. That was like a Pinto.
I don't know. There's always a douchebag.
Is this akin to a Pinto?
Well, Pinto. What, the Ford that blew up? Those?
Yeah.
Yeah. Late was that mid gas crunch cars like 78, 79, 80, 81.
Yeah, I had a Pinto for a little bit. It was like driving a bucket.
Yeah. Somebody's got one.
When you turn a corner, the whole thing like.
I actually saw one when I was out the weekend my mom passed. Me and my brother went to a car show that my parents used to put on every year, and there was a fucking cherry restored Pinto there. Dude, so good. A V8 Pinto.
Nice.
It's like, holy fuck. Like,
I didn't mind the look of the Pinto. It was more of like a giant go-kart sort of situation. Like you could feel when you made a turn, you could feel that. Like the whole thing was so white, like a frog.
Sure.
It was like a oh, that seat's way over there. It's like a bucket. It's like
That's like
so going from a childhood to go-karts to that
sure.
kind of a funny thing. It's
You're
like a
talking about
go-kart.
you're talking about every American car made from like 73 to like 84, 85.
I know.
Fucking
My
12 years of dog shit.
across the street from Dennis Spot. Do you remember that Impala that my dad had? The black Impala.
Yeah, yes.
A little vaguely. I really wish
Yeah.
we would have kept that car. That thing would have you open the door, right? I don't know. It doesn't have his stepfather John. He's a cool dude. Um, he the door was like as wide as a fucking your the length of your leg. And then he goes as we open the door, it's like, God damn it. That door is gonna weigh like 100, 200 pounds. It's like it's solid steel.
Yeah.
Black steel. I love that car. Damn, I wish
That's
I
how
would
my that's how that's how
like a
my that's how
67
my
Impala
55
or
Chevy
something like that.
is. Yeah. That's how my 55 Chevy is. It's just fucking
It's a tank.
it's just like yeah, you
Why would
can't
somebody
ding it.
make so much metal that would take like 20? I guess gas didn't cost anything back then, so it didn't really matter how fast it makes to move a steel fucking thing
Yeah.
weighs 1 billion pounds. They didn't like, oh, let's just keep on putting gas in it. I'm rambling, but that thing is beautiful the way you don't find a car like that. There's no reason to have a car like that ever now.
Why not?
I mean, I can drive across country,
You
cost you
can
like
buy
$1
my
billion.
the 55 Chevy I own is on a modern chassis and it drives like everything else. Like I get people in regular cars that try to like follow me off the freeway and it's on coilovers, it's got four-wheel disc brakes, and they're like, oh, I'm following a fucking a 60
Relic.
a 65-year-old fucking car.
It's like a dinosaur, baby.
I'm gonna stick behind him on a clover leaf, and I'm just like fucking gone. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm driving not to be all. I'm not to my own horn, but I am driving a 2000 Mercury Villager right now.
sweet.
It's like a land shark, and
Yeah,
it had one owner. It was my aunt who passed away, and she was like 98, 98. So it's got like 113,000 miles on it, but it's not made like and I don't want to sound ageist or sexist, but it's not like 117,000 miles from like a 20-year-old kid or a 25-year-old kid. It's like a 90-year woman drove this thing around. So it's not like hard mileage. So I just got it redone or redone it. But the thing is a nice little like kind of situation. Oh, you need to go.
no, I'm just trying to get my dog's attention.
Get your dog, get up there. Don't mind me. I'm just babbling about a stupid car. But
Give me 1 minute.
take your time.
All right, come here, Bob.
Take
Come
your
here.
time.
Come here.
We're already
He did. He came down to warn me that he had to pee.
good doggy dad there. There you go. It's a good attentive person. That's a 420/69 person. That's the kind of
Yeah,
you get when you're born 420/69.
I guess.
Attentive. What are you drinking? What's your poison there, baby?
I am. So my wife works for Coors.
Oh, really? Interesting.
So they make this like craft beer.
Nice.
8% IPA, double IPA.
Nice. Is that like a new product?
No, it's actually a product they just sold. They sold their craft beer line off. So my wife's been
How
hoarding
come
it.
that's not popular? How come I've never seen that before?
Yeah, it's only sold here. It's called AC Golden. It's like all local grains and ingredients.
Is this a Brett's with Friends exclusive?
What's that?
Is this a Brett's with Friends exclusive? That beer's never been seen before?
Almost, unless you've lived in Colorado. It's only sold in Colorado.
Give it a plug. Give it a plug. Let's see.
AC Golden Brewing Company, Sneaky 8. It fucking sneaks up on you because it's 8% alcohol. That's why it's called Sneaky 8.
Holy shit.
pretty good. So my wife, yeah, she gets like 4 cases of beer for free a month for working
Dude,
there.
why would you ever leave Colorado again? That's ridiculous.
So it's like I've got fucking cases of beer like stacked up. They it's Molson Miller Coors. So it's a
So it doesn't taste like a Coors. It tastes like a
no,
IPA.
it's craft. Yeah, it's a craft beer
Does that make
line.
you pee a
Not
lot?
Coors.
Because
Huh?
Coors Light makes you pee a lot. Does
Yeah,
it
I
pee
don't drink.
a lot?
I don't drink Coors Light. I don't know about that.
Oh, yeah. So it's not making you pee a lot.
There is not a Coors Light in this fucking house.
Like I had never had Coors Light before, and I remember drinking some, and it fucking made me just like woo, right through me. But maybe I'm just 55 years old.
No, you are 55 years old. There's no maybe about that.
You're right. You're right. That's a consolatory
Yeah.
agreement.
So how long's it been since you had a Mickey's Big Mouth?
Oof,
Ooh.
oof. That was my drinking choice. I got actually pictures drinking that. I took in a selfie mirror. I mean, it was black and white. God, that would be the whole fuck. Whoa, 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 whoa. You guys still get those?
Coors,
They
Coors
make
has
them?
some, Coors still has some hand in this.
What?
My wife, so their employee beer sales, like they have a
Is
they
that
have
like a
a
nostalgia thing? Or is like a are they bring
no,
did they ever go away or do they come
it never went away.
what?
It's still a thing. My
I thought it
wife
was like a Zima where it just disappeared.
when she goes to employee beer sales, it's just whatever they have in stock at the time.
Fuck.
It's never the same. They always have Coors and Coors Light.
That was a high school beer of choice.
So she just comes home randomly with a fucking case. Like she's like, I was at employee beer sales. They have Mickey's Big Mouth. I'm like, they have those again. Fucking bring them home.
She might have said she could have told you, listen, Dave Bird, I'm from the future. I brought something back
Totally.
from the past.
It's funny. Everybody at work I've talked to, I'm like, how long's it been since you had a Mickey's? They're like, fuck, dude. I used to get so fucked up in high school off of those.
That was yeah.
Yeah.
Until we went gay and fucking I started drinking Zima. That was like Zima. That's the first time like after Cisco. Do you remember Cisco?
Oh God.
Dude, that's something you bought when you're in Oakland or Mountain View or something at a market. It was like, where do you Cisco? They stopped making that shit.
Something you bought when you were illegally buying weed in California. And
It's like
some
the
other
purple juice. Like I remember buying Cisco and thinking that it was like buying like something that was very like you shouldn't be doing. Like this is like bad for you.
It's beer you hide in a brown bag, right?
Yeah, it's like $3 for a gallon. It's like moonshine for suburban white boys.
So as an artist, what do you call this kind of stuff?
But that's not that big as an artist, I think it's pretty. I like the colors blue and orange I recently realized go together really well.
Yeah.
I don't do much color theory, but I was doing some stuff with colors and blue, that pastel blue I like that pastel blue puffy.
What is this done with like a spatula? What is this done with like a spatula?
No, that's done with a pen. That's done with a giant marker.
Okay. My cousin does this kind of
Or
stuff.
let me. I mean, all right.
My
Let's
cousin
get
does
glasses
it.
on. Oh shit! Oh,
It looks like it's paint strokes.
it might
Like
be
he
paint
does-
strokes. Yeah, yeah. It might be
Like he
paint.
does it with like he does a spatula and dips it
Yeah.
in the paint and then
I've
does
seen I've seen similar things done like that with paint pens that are very large as well.
Yeah.
But which is really cool. I love that like kind of like I always love like line work and patterns and stuff like that.
My cousin in Pittsburgh does these. I commissioned this one from him.
Nice. So that probably is a big brush or a gigantic paint pen.
Yeah.
But that looks like it's acrylic, so it's like it's probably acrylic. Is that on
I think so.
is that on canvas or paper?
It's on canvas.
Let me see it again real quick. Yeah, that's either I think he's using brushwork. Yeah, that's a brush. They
Pretty
don't make
cool.
they make pens, but they don't make them. Yeah, yeah, I think that's awesome. The commission. Are you going to frame it?
It's just on a, I
No,
don't
but
know.
do you want to
I
frame it?
got he did two of them for us.
Yeah, I do like a flat black square wood frame.
Yeah.
I don't think you need to go. I think that'll pop it out.
I've got a couple
Yeah,
commissions.
you have that painting behind you,
Which
behind
that one back there?
yeah. See, what is that? Is that a bike ride or is that a
No, it's an Indy car at that's the Long Beach
poster?
Convention Center. Has a
Yeah,
mural of whales painted on it.
nice.
And that's the car like coming around a corner. I have three of those. I have this one here done by the same artist. They're
Is
what's a
it clay or
what's a what's a what's a Gickly? Geikley?
clay? It's clay.
That's that. Yeah, I've got three of them. I've got one on the other side of the TV down there too that it's hard to see.
No, I see it. Do you have a camera? Is that in the windowsill? Do you have a camera on there? What is that black and white thing in the camera in the windowsill?
That's a webcam security camera.
Oh, to make sure that
It's a Wise, so I can watch what's going on in my basement fucking remotely.
nice.
Apparently, it needs a software update. It's not working.
So, are you afraid of somebody because it's pointed to
No,
the computer?
I bought that when
Computer camera. So do
I
you
was still I was still I was still
are we being videotaped right now by that thing?
no, that fucking thing isn't working.
So take it down. I'm
Here.
ah take it off the thing. Take it off the wire, the wire. Ah,
That's fucking
it's not
plugged in
really
back.
I can care less.
That's
I don't care.
it's like sitting. It's like
It's-
wired in behind my old drafting table back
I think
there.
you
Like
should I think you should get rid of it. I don't know.
I used that to spy on my fucking dogs when we used to leave them home in California.
Oh,
My
well,
two
okay.
retrievers.
Okay, sorry. You know, we're
It's
gonna
it's on it's
this
on
might,
motion. Like
I'm hoping
it's
that
on
we do the
motion.
longest podcast ever.
I could watch it. I could watch it on my phone from work and see what my fucking retrievers, because we used to just leave them loose in the house while we were at work.
See all the fuckery
And
there.
I could fucking talk to them. Like, what are you doing? They're
What the fuck, dude?
like walk up and be like, somebody's talking to me.
It's fucking hilarious. I love it. I love it. So, what do you think about the So we touched on it a little bit earlier. I'm gonna try to bring. So, do you in technical things like you've seen patterns in your industry? Like, do you think robots are going to be on the road soon? Everyone's like, where do you see this? I always think you go to the future. Like, like as a Gen Xer, like you've seen the patterns and Reagan, you grow all these Carter generational things. Like, what do you see? Not like trying to put you on the spot at all. You can have nothing, but like, but you're in a very technical industry. Are you ready for quantum physics? Do you know anything about that sort of thing?
I don't know. I don't really follow. I don't really follow that stuff.
Yeah, well, apparently quantum physics is going to be akin to like a new iPhone or like the first time a phone was cellular. It's going to change a lot of things because the AI involved with it will change the dynamic of medicine. It basically it crushes numbers faster than what a human could so what a human could possibly it'll take him 30 years to figure out how to do it.
Yeah, right. It happens in fucking seconds.
Even a month would be crazy. But that with Elon now being the world leader, and now with robotics and NASA, Mars, AI, quantum computing, so and military industrial complex with his robots and Boston Dynamics, and you're over there.
Oh God, those guys, dude.
Lockheed is over there in the Bay Area, and
Lockheed's huge here. Actually, the house I live in was built in the
by
70s
robot.
because of the Lockheed factories here. There's three of them.
Alien technology, Jersey. God. There's UFOs over Oregon, New Jersey. Elon Musk, robots, Mars, puppetry. There is no more government. The whole thing's what Gen Xers thought was going to happen, and now it's happened.
You know, I've
Where
got
do we
like
go? Where do we go from here? Where do we
I'm,
go?
I don't know, man. I've got 25 more years. Like if I live a healthy life, I've got 25 or 30 more years here. Like probably. So I hope it fucking happens after I'm gone. Like whatever's going on.
What if it's happening right now?
Well, it is there's shit happening right now, but what can we do about it?
But then if that's the case, then what could we have ever done about it?
Well, I mean,
All the intention in the world can't get you to.
I mean, people don't know what they're voting for anymore.
What we saw, they made
Like
the
I work
already made
with
their voices clear. If this was a really clean thing, which who knows what I just the only thing I saw is somebody buy an election.
pretty much to keep himself out of prison and to pardon all the people that were fucktards the first time.
Like my
Right?
mind goes down like a really bad, like I can go really dark, like how like really super dark. But like I hope if it's even just a little tiny part of that, it's kind of bad. But hopefully it's none of that. Maybe I was talking to this guy who was a Trumper at my mom's birthday party and at this bar. And we got this thing about a conversation about, and I said, you know what? Ultimately, he is very passionate. He's a very passionate guy. And I understand that.
Who,
You know,
who,
I'm not gonna change any mind.
Who Trump or your mom's friend?
No, it's my mom's. Well, my mom's a Trumper too, which has been a whole another.
Yeah.
But and she's had 2 abortions herself, so it's just up is down, down is up. Nothing, nothing makes sense. People believe what they want to believe, and I basically told this guy, I hope you're right. I hope it's all glorious and it's beautiful
Yeah.
and it's everything is everyone's happy and everyone's great. Just I hope you're I hope you're right. I hope
That's where I'm at too.
I was like, you know what? I can't do any more than that except just be and lean into my creativity. It was just where I always will go to, which has always sort of made me not from, doing crazy weird shit. Like as much as I probably have done that, but like I've always got a center. That's the art. But like I understand people don't have an outlet and they but I was like, yeah, I hope you're right. I hope it's great. I hope everyone's happy.
Yeah, that's kind of where I am.
And dancing like, to Twilight.
A bunch of the kids that the barely 23-year-old kids fresh out of college that I work with all voted for him, and it's like, you know what? I hope you guys are right.
Or was there demographic of because I found like Arab people.
No, it's all over the place. I've got a Jewish engineer that worked for Lockheed Martin that just started with us. I've got a kid, a new engineer.
It seems like what we mixed is reality TV and politics have now fully integrated like a cyborg.
Yeah, and nobody knows the ramifications. Like nobody takes this shit
You
seriously.
think there's an entertainment value to that though? I think people are doing it for the sheer. Is it come down to sheer entertainment?
I don't know. I don't get it. Like this impacts your lives. Like
People are going to die because of this.
yeah.
People are going to get hurt. There's going to be marginalized. Asian hate was horrible when fucking Trump did the China virus. Like people were hurt.
Very
Don't want to be
like it's a very
law. Is that what people wanted? Martial laws? What?
It's a very anti-gay.
Tanks in the fucking street just because somebody fucking tells a lie about transgender.
It's a very racist, anti-gay, anti-female thing that's happening right now. I don't know.
Well, the up is down, the down is up. What is this that paradigm shift that we are all sort of expecting to happen? Or I was led to believe that was happened. I don't know. There seems like we all sort of, this isn't surprising in some sort of weird, ridiculous way.
The scary part is the majority is for this, right? Like,
They want it.
yeah,
They want the bullshit.
this is no longer a bunch of like rednecks and hillbillies voting, conspiracy theorists voting for a president. Somehow it's taken hold. And it's
in a long time.
like a new generation.
I feel very naive because I thought things were better than this. So when this happened, I'm like, oh, I'm just a naive little stupid person.
No, I think it's the opposite.
People are really like a positive thing. They've like the positive. They wanted to be positive, but they don't want to be in a positive. It's a conflictual sort of state of being that is very interesting to a lot of people. Maybe not, or something. I don't know. You tell me, Dave Bird.
No. I don't want to know. I don't want to put my stamp
on it. If it gets any stupider than this, we're just gonna all check out.
It's weird. It's like I have no hope in generations under me that they've I don't know what they've done.
Well, but they know it exactly.
I told you.
Find out. They made it very well known
what
they happened.
So you've seen the YouTube videos, right? Where like fucking asshole, like here, fucking sitting on a motorcycle, and there's like a huge jump in front of him. He's like, "Here, hold my beer," and he fucking hits the jump and eats shit, and they haul him off in an ambulance, right? Like, there's this joke in my circle. It's like it's a hold my beer moment, like hold my beer, and they go off to do something fucking stupid.
Yeah,
like I think that's what we're in for the next 4 years. Just like hold my beer.
I've heard that term. I've heard that. I heard somebody on something because I don't watch all the podcasts, not mainstream media, but like there's some elements of it's kind of proliferated through comedy podcasts and stuff like that. But seeing a sort of a cross section of how people are really interpreting what's about to happen, and I hope I'm wrong, but it feels like we're about to do and go into some really, really stupid times.
Sure.
And some of it, I don't want to put it out there too much, but like that Trump wants probably to have a parade of military. Like a
sure
arms, like a what you would see at a Nazi rally.
Sure. That wouldn't be surprising at this point.
Like a Kim Jong-un sort of situation.
Well, they talked about this his last presidency, right? And he like shrugged it off and didn't do it. The whole fucking parade through Washington.
He wanted it to happen.
Yeah. It will. I think it will this time.
I really hope it doesn't. Just as I don't know, man. We're getting into some like really nuclear territory, but I don't think that nuclear will. I would think that maybe a something beyond human badness would happen, like a solar flare that might make a bad planet get into shape, like a bad planet. Bad planet. Now, because if a solar flare hits, only 1/3 of the planet will probably be affected by that. It wouldn't be as bad as a nuclear wasteland. But like a solar flare or a comet, I mean, anything but a Trump presidency. Help me out, Dave Bird, please. I'm wishing for nuclear annihilation rather than a Trump presidency. Help me.
I can't help.
How do we make this look better?
You can't. Here, hold my beer. It's all coming.
It'll be fine. We'll
oh yeah.
Do you want to get back to your life? Should we shut it down?
Yeah, I'd like to do this again sometime. This is pretty fun.
Yeah, anytime, man. Anytime. Thanks for being on So let's do a wrap it up with anything last. Is there anything in the world that we get to we Taco Bravo, we got Macintosh, Presta, Fought. He married that girl, Rachel,
Yep.
and she runs a restaurant. That's hilarious. I'd love to see how I'll have to go visit that restaurant. But so 42069.
Yep.
How,
It's a
do you
thing.
think you got 25 more years? You're good for 25 more years?
I think so.
55. So that would bring you to 80?
Yeah, my dad died on his 79th birthday, and he was fucking hella out of shape. My mom, 83, so I've got to be in there somewhere. Should we just go on genetics, right?
My grandmother's 102 years old.
Yours did?
My grandmother.
Yeah. My
And
grandparents,
my mom just hit 80 and she's not going to stop anytime soon.
my grandparents went into their 90s too, and both of my parents, like my mom had a handicap. My dad was, had a terrible heart, so, and was in bad shape. I'm in way better shape than him, and at his age,
Do you what do
I
you
might go to 90.
how do you stay so fit?
I hike, I get out, I mountain bike still. Not on a fucking e-bike.
Well,
I
you don't
pedal.
you have a little tinge of remorse
I
or
pedal.
patronizing attitude towards e-bike or
I
something?
do. We can go into that on the next one. I'm 55 fucking years old. I still climb 2,000 feet on my mountain bike because you have to go up to come down. Yeah. So that's,
Who else?
and
There's who's a Todd Crome stayed in really good shape. Do you know who Todd Crome is?
I do.
He,
Yeah.
I saw him on, and we're all like talking. We talk shit about each other on through the Delmar page, but like it's like Todd actually became a really he out of everybody he became the most best looking one. Like I always remember Todd Crumb as being a geeky sort of tall thin guy, but the guy's like an athlete right now. The guy's like running marathons and shit like that. I was like, dude, because I remember he had big knuckles for some reason because it's probably shorter than him. As the recollection of his high school, he had big knuckles, kind of gangly guy, but always smiling. And to see him be, I guess, our age, and like he's running marathons. The guy's got a beautiful, he looks like he. It's nice to see.
There's a handful of guys that are still kicking ass. Like, Todd Beach is still, he's running marathons.
That's who I was talking. That's who I was talking about.
Okay, yeah,
Todd Beach or Todd Crome.
Todd Crome.
Two different people.
Two different people.
Delmar. This is the Delmar weird. It's like it was a Bermuda Triangle of the 80 of that area. I was sure.
So yeah,
do you think UFOs landed in that? I think there's a lot of UFO activity down in that San Jose area around that Bay Area time. Before the malathion spray happened.
Yeah.
You know the malathion that landed on everything?
Yeah. Yeah, Kurt Wilhelm's here in Colorado, fucking mountain biking in the high country, like racing on his mountain bike. Yeah, Todd Beach, and then Mike Aaron is like a bodybuilder. He's in great shape still. He fucking dropped a beer on the floor in Mr. Ham's class. Fucking, and the class went silent.
Was I there for that? I feel like I was there for that.
As the beer hit the floor and started dumping out, fucking the classroom went silent. And
was that a party? There was some party we had at night at the bar. It was, I don't know if it was some sort of dance thing, but we all stayed overnight. I threw fucking Dennis Spot's fucking shoes on the fucking top of the roof or somebody, and somebody wanted to kick my ass because of it. There was a one guy that got in a fight with a girl rolling down a hill at one party.
Oh Jesus.
I don't know if it was Wallachiewicz's or I don't know what happened.
Yeah, one of the wall cabbages got in a fight with somebody that was in the back seat of my car at Taco Bravo. Like I fucking rolled into the parking lot. And there was fists flying in the windows of my car before I parked.
I just want a fucking burrito with cheese flying on the top
Yeah.
of it.
One of the wall cabbages hit the ground that night. Yeah, crazy times.
What was that? What was that? Just as like, it's like, it's like, it was like putting. It's like we would travel from the high school to Taco Bravo.
To Bravo, just a fight. All right, man, let's do this again.
All right, let's call it a night, man. Thanks for hanging out.
Yeah.
I don't even know how long we went, but I'll send you a link, and if you want to send me any artwork or anything that we talked about, I'll try to edit it in. All right.
Cool. Sounds great.
All right. Well, thanks. That was fun, right? This is pretty harmless. Nobody got hurt. Nobody said anything they couldn't back up with fact,
Nope.
like David Presta
All true stories,
putting his
man.
dick up against the window of the
Hey,
lady's
true
car.
stories, and I fucking challenge anybody who has talked about tonight to come on here and prove their case another direction.
That's you, Dave Presta.
Anybody
Dave
name
Presta,
that
Dave
came up,
in a spot.
come tell your side of the story. I'm fucking old and senile. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
I love
I
it.
smoked too much weed in my 20s. I don't remember any of that.
And good for you for that. It's a good man right there. You take care of business. So
Hey, man, I had 420 69 to live up to.
hey, it's just the beginning. 42069 is not over. It's just the beginning.
If you were born on 420 69 and did not smoke weed at some point in your life, shame on you.
Shame on you.
Don't you know what day you were born on?
I would put like 100% thing that somebody born on 42069 is has and is probably smoking weed right now.
Sure. Or on the road following whatever version of the Grateful Dead is still
Did
out
you ever
there.
see a Dead concert?
Huh?
Did you ever see any shows at
Yeah,
Shoreline?
twice. Yeah, I saw the Dead twice.
Shoreline?
Shoreline both times.
Nice. I did the one in 92. I think it was the year. Shoreline with did you ever see Bjork open? What was your first concert? Do you remember
First concert?
Your very first concert? Which was it?
My first concert was REO Speedwagon and Survivor
At
with
where?
with my brother.
Was that at Great Americans Mountain or Mountain?
No, it was in Oakland Auditorium, or I think
mine was the Tubes at Great
Tubes.
America. At
No,
Great
Great
America. Was it a
America,
Great
yeah.
America thing? Was there a Great
Yeah. Yep. I saw Oingo Boingo was my first Great America show.
I think did they open for the YouTube?
Maybe. I probably
Were
still
they
have
the same concert at the same time at Great America?
right back. Yeah, probably right back there on the shelf. I probably still have that's my memorabilia shelves. I probably still I have a Bassmaster what was it? Ticketmaster envelope with probably 50 concert tickets in it. Like all the Lollapaloozas, like all the 80s and 90s shows. I still have like paper tickets that I kept.
Do you remember the was there a solar thing that happened in 92? Was there a where everything went black in the daytime?
Oh God, I don't know. What, an eclipse? Is that what you're talking
Yeah.
about?
Do you remember an eclipse happening through like 1990 or 1991?
God, I don't know.
All right. I'm draining the swamp for this. All right. Well, let's all hope the aliens don't are nice to us when they basically overlord us and jump out of the oceans and take us over. David Bird, I gotta say this is really super fun, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for being on this.
Great talking to you again.
Yeah, it's great. It's been it's like we're friends already, but it's a big time jump. And I don't know, man. This is great. At 42069. I love the fact that, and also Julie who didn't come on the podcast is her birthday. So it's funny that there's a couple of people that went to the same high school that are 426.9.
Yep.
So should we on the next podcast, maybe we should make one where we try to find Trisha McIntosh.
Let's do it.
All right.
Search it out.
Bird, TJ Bird. Are you a DJ?
Nope, I'm a DB.
A DB.
DBB.
DBB.
Yep.
All right. Do you want to say anything to the Martians or Dave Presto or Dennis Fa who might watch this video? Do you think they'll watch this video? Do you think they'll watch? Will you share the video?
I'll share it.
Do you think Dennis or Dave Presto or Trisha McIntosh?
Dennis isn't on social media. Dennis isn't on social media anymore. I don't know. We'll find some fucking people that'll watch it.
Do you think
somebody's gonna watch it?
All right. Well,
maybe somebody will go, "Have you seen?" And they will join and they will watch.
It'll trigger them, and they'll be like, "What the fuck?"
Yep.
Do you have any
assholes?
Do you remember? No, you might not remember Cindy Campiano. Any last words? Any last people that we can squeeze in that we haven't talked about, like that?
No, I don't want to.
Vivian, Vivian, your dog. Who's the girl that was a volleyball player? Kelly.
There's a bunch of them.
All right. Let's crash it. All right, we'll crash out. Thank you so much, man. Enjoy it. Smoke a big joint in Colorado for me. All right.
Will do.
All right. Cheers. Thanks.
Peace out. Peace out, brother.
We're gonna end it, baby.
Yep.
It's over, baby. Let's do it. You go first because I might close out the show.
Hold my beer. I'm out.
All right, we're still here. That was Dave Bird. I haven't talked to the guy. That was more we talked about all through 4 years of high school. So Brett's with friends. This podcast 140. It's over. My mom looks like she bought a new car or something like that. Happy holidays. We'll do a end of the year roundup part 2 soon. We still got 2 weeks before the end of the year. Cheers. Thank you for watching. Farwaz22 on Instagram and TikTok. Find my art, QR code. Thanks for watching. I'm hoping this recorded.
When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit.